treasure on earth to be young at heart.
How does it go? Goodbye, cruel world.
If you left her at the altar, feel free to jump.
What? No, it's nothing like that. Excuse me. Do I know you?
Yes, you do. Though we have never met face to face.
You look like Kristen Thomas.
Indeed.
You look just like her. When she was younger. When she was in 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
You don't say.
I must have seen that film 20 times.
Fancy that.
I had such a crush on her. Sorry, you said you know me?
That's right.
But we've never met.
No.
Was it online?
Robert, why were you trying to kill yourself?
Oh. You know, I'd forgotten about that. I was taken aback a little by the whole Kristen Thomas thing.
Well, I quite understand. She's a very beautiful woman. And you like women, don't you, Robert?
Oh, yes. Rather too much, I'm afraid.
And did this one break your heart?
Oh, yes. She broke everything. Every atom. My body feels like jelly.
And so you planned to kill yourself over this girl?
Yes. Well, yes and no. No. More no than yes, I'd say.
So there's more to it than that.
Yes, there is. May I ask why you're so interested, Miss...
Oh, just call me Kristen.
Really?
Yes, why not?
The name isn't really Kristen.
Well, I've been called a lot of things over the years.
Well, that sounds mysterious.
Well, I am mysterious. So, tell me the reason why you wanted to take your life.
I really don't know where to begin.
Well, let's begin with who you are.
Who I am? Well, I'm an accountant.
No, that's your job. That's not who you are. Who are you, Robert?
Who was I, you mean?
Very well, who were you?
Well, I was a poet.
Well, of course you're a poet. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Excuse me?
I mean, who are you now? You stopped writing poetry.
How did you know that?
The same way I know you adore Kristen Thomas.
I don't think I've ever told anyone my feelings for Kristen.
But you told me, Robert.
Did?
It was in a poem.
You've read my poetry?
No, but I've heard it.
You have? When?
Years and years.
I've never had anything published.
Have you ever tried?
No.
Why not?
Well, you see, I write love poetry. And I only write it for the woman I'm in love with. I give her the poetry to do with it whatever she wants. Is that what happened? Did one of my exes read you some poems?
No, Robert.
Then how?
I heard the poems you wrote for me.
Look, you're gorgeous, but I never wrote you any poetry. I mean, look at you. I remember.
I told you we'd never met.
Then how could I...
Oh, lady, thou febrile moods and fertile fancies, still ever so the owner of a furious fate, dissemble me. Fair remember me alive, let no dusty memories avail thee.
Oh my God.
And constant as the heart's ease, in that flower so resembled, reassemble me in turn to find me on your fortune's wheel.
No, that's impossible.
That isn't one of your poems?
Yes, of course it is. It's not for you.
Isn't it?
No. It's a poem I wrote for...
Yes.
When I used to write love poetry, when I was on a roll, I'd write them for the goddess. The goddess of inspiration. Then I'd read the poem out loud at night, just once. And then I would burn it. And I would burn it. It was a gift.
Thank you for your gifts, Robert.
Oh my God!
Well, actually, it's goddess. Oh, do get up. Miss Scott's face is far prettier than the headline of this dress, wouldn't you say? Poetry is the highest of all mankind's arts, and love poetry its finest expression. Without love poetry, life is just a machine. But with it, there is beauty enough to make even this goddess sigh. And so it pleases me to spin the wheels and grease the gears of that machine. Why did you stop writing poems for me, Robert?
I just dried up. One day, nothing came. Even when I break up with a girl, there was still a poem to write, but now there's nothing.
And that is why you wanted to kill yourself.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
For all the poems you wrote for me, what was the one thing you wanted in return?
Nothing.
Nonsense, Robert. Come on now.
I wanted to write more poetry.
Is that all?
Isn't that enough?
I know what you wanted, Robert. It was in every line you wrote for me, the song behind every stanza. You were just afraid to come right out and ask me for it.
Goddess,
Oh, call me Kristen.
Kristen.
Tell me what you wanted, Robert. I can't give it to you unless you ask me for it. There are rules. Just ask me.
I want
Yes?
true love. I want true love.
I can give you true love, Robert. But there is a price.
I'll pay anything you ask.
The price of true love is this. You shall never be able to write again. You see, once you find true love, there is no need for it.
Oh, I see.
Do you? There is more. We shall never meet again. So the choice is yours. I can give you the inspiration to write again. Or I can give you true love. Which shall it be?
True love.
Oh well.
I'm sorry, Kristen.
Don't be. Ha! You think you're the only poet who writes for me?
Who? Where do I find... How? Where?
Lo, mortal! Hence thou must hie to the kingdom of Hampstead. Near the pond of the White Stone, you shall find a tavern called the Castle of Jack Straw. At the rear of this public house, even as we speak, in something called a booth, is a woman called Mary. stuck on a rhyme in the third verse. The word she is looking for is chimes.
Chimes.
Chimes! Off you go now. True love awaits.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristen.
It's not so very magnanimous of me. After all, she is a poet, and you are a poet, or you were at least, and the chances are good that your children might take to poetry as well, don't you think?
I suppose so.
Suppose has nothing to do with it. You have made your choice. We are strangers now. Fly or face my wrath! Well, careful, Robert. It's dangerous to run and compose at the same time. Oh, very good, Robert. I love the second verse. The third needs work. I walk in beauty, like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. And all that's best of dark and bright meet in my aspect and my eyes.
Treasure on earth to be young at heart.